Reach out, oh, with Ray and Steve. Reach out, with Ray and Steve. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the car. For the whole team. If they don't win, it's a shame. Play ball.
Well, hello there, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Reach Out with Ray and Steve. My name is Robbie Robinson, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. We have our buddy, Mr. Ray Negron, coming to you from the Bronx, New York. And then we have Steve Vaccaro coming to you somewhere in Florida.
Hey, Robbie, how are you?
Good.
Robbie, it must be nice. It must be nice. This guy, I've seen pictures of Steve and his lovely wife all in Miami, acting like Miami Vice, and then they were up in Tampa, and they were welcomed by all the governor of Florida. Opened up all these restaurants for Steve and stuff. It must be nice. Robbie, you must be paying him a pretty penny.
Well, when the boss wants to play, he gets to play big time.
Well, you guys are great. This is Reach Out with Ray and Steve on every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. and then again on BronxNet, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Robbie, how's it going on the West Coast there?
Things are going good. Spring training is bloomed. We're having baseball. What do you think?
Yes, we got actually, Ray, you ready for some Yankee baseball?
Not really. I'd rather talk about Reach Out with Ray and Steve. And you know what? It's more fun. For me, it's more fun to hear like Robbie doing music with Mr. Frankie Valli every single day. And Sarah Nimitz is doing more songs. And then, we get Larry Chance to come on our show to talk about
Larry Chance.
No,
you mean Taddy Daddy Bop Bop Shoo Bop the Bop Bop.
No,
There we go. Wow. Either way,
Larry
it sounds
Chance of
great.
the Earls. Larry Chance and the Earls, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what gets me is how the first designated hitter in the history of baseball, a guy, he should be in the Hall of Fame just for that. And
there he is.
Yeah, Bloomberg knows more about music than just about anybody that I know. It's unbelievable. I don't know where he got that from.
And he's like a social media icon right now. He's all over the place.
I don't know how we even got him to come on our show today.
I don't know. He's a very, very busy guy. And he has a new book coming out that we're going to hear all about. Yeah. The Captain and Me with Thurman Munson. We're going to plug that book all night long. And Ronnie does such great work. Also, he's another guy that pays it forward. So we're so thankful that what he does, but he's on our show tonight.
Well, the person Sarah Nimitz loves reading books.
Yes.
Okay. Because Robbie, you have told me that she reads like a book an hour or something like that.
Unbelievable.
I know she hasn't read my book yet. That I know.
How do you know that?
She would have said something. If she read Yankee Miracles,
she was being
would have
nice.
said how great it was.
Maybe she wanted to be nice and not say anything bad.
Well, look, we got her song. We're introducing her song. She could at least have read the forward.
That's right, we are. The dimming.
Right.
Wow, she does great work. And Robbie, you guys do great collaborative effort too. So this is really
we want to talk about later today in the show. Sarah and I got together and we did our version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, the amazing classic. And I want all of MLB to know about it. I want all 30 teams to play it in their stadium.
Well, what you're saying there, a beautiful thing that's happening. And Carmine, why don't you come on in here with this? I think we're going to start the community segment of our show in a minute. But a beautiful thing that's happening is, well, should we do it in the community? We'll announce it in community. Okay, let's get on to the community. So a gentleman that I've known for over 40 some odd years, his name is Neil Hearst. And the incredible thing about Neil Hearst is that he was a bat boy for the New York Yankees back in the 70s. And I had the privilege of working with his brother. His brother was a bat boy when I actually started. And it's incredible what happens with a lot of these bat boys. They go on to do incredible things. And this is no joke. His brother, Seth Hearst, happens to be the biggest gynecologist in America. Okay? And true story. If I say that anywhere, people say, "Oh, here's Ray again." But his brother, yeah, but he is the number one gynecologist in America. So anybody needs a gynecologist. I'm not anyway. Let me leave that alone.
Yeah, let's go somewhere else.
Good recommendations out there.
Neil Hearst. Let's bring Neil on. I want Neil to tell this story.
Yeah, right before we do that, I couldn't have said it better myself. We are highlighting ALS and Lou Gehrig's disease, which Neil suffers from, and we are going to highlight that in this episode. And we have a video that Neil put together. Let's check that out.
In Yankee Stadium, touched to tears by the tribute, Gehrig made his last public appearance.
The past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad brag. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. But I've got an awful lot to live for. But I've got an awful lot to live for.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my friend Neil Hearst, one of the most courageous men that I know in dealing with Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, arterial sclerosis. How are you, my brother?
Good, thanks, guys. I appreciate it very much. Living with this disease, of course, it's horrific. But the most important thing is that we talk about Lou Gehrig, and we talk about ALS, and we talk about what Major League Baseball is doing. On June 2nd, think about it. In 1941, Lou Gehrig died. Lou Gehrig died on June 2nd, 1941. Well, in 2021, this year, baseball is going to honor Lou Gehrig. Think about it. 80 plus years, and ALS does not have a cure. It's a horrific disease. It's terrible. What we need to do is get money and time to help find a cure for this disease. Lou Gehrig was a great guy. He stood for racial equality. And think about back then, standing for racial equality and what we live with today. What a great man to put out there. I'm very, very proud about the things that we've done. We have a family. My wife said to me, "Neil, why you?" And the reason she said that was, she said, "You can make a difference. You can reach out. You can do things. You can help find a cure." I will. I can. I'm going to. We have started a foundation, and it's pitchinforals.com. Pitchinforals.com. We're going to be announcing some things that are out there soon that's going to be involved with baseball cards. It's going to be a tremendous promotion, like the Ice Bucket Challenge. If everyone remembers how much money that was out there with the Ice Bucket Challenge, we need money. We need to find a cure. And as being the second luckiest man alive with the greatest kids and family, please help me.
Neil, someone once said to me, God does not put you in a situation that you can't handle. I know I couldn't handle what you're dealing with and how you deal with it every day with such great pride. How do you do it, Neil?
Wake up. It's trying to understand the background that you had working for the Yankees and the boss and George Steinbrenner. They taught me a lot about giving back, being honorable, doing the right thing, working hard. And when you think about that, every day I wake up, I'm very, very happy. I'm pleased to be on this earth. And you know what? I want to make a difference. We have to find a cure for ALS.
Would you tell our audience how you met George Steinbrenner and what happened?
I was working in a restaurant and some dishes fell. And some people were yelling at me, and it wasn't my fault because someone knocked into me. The boss came and said, "Hey, you know what? It wasn't his fault." He came over. He said, "You're a good guy. How would you like to work for the Yankees?" And he said, "You're going to be the 1978 Yankee bat boy." What an amazing guy! What an amazing experience! And you know what? It just goes to show you: you work hard, you pay your dues, you're respectful. Things pay off in life.
Isn't it incredible how in life, 40 years ago, you accidentally run into George Steinbrenner in a touch of faith, and you end up with Lou Gehrig disease. And I know that it's the aura of being a part of the Yankee family that has taken you to that next level from the standpoint of your courage. Am I off base?
No. That's 100% correct. And trying to live in this world and putting out a legacy. The legacy is to throw out the first pitch on Lou Gehrig's day and raise enough money so that we can find a cure, put the money towards finding a cure. And if I want to have a legacy, that's what it's about. It's helping find a cure for ALS and putting something in the honorable name of Lou Gehrig.
Robbie, what do you have to say to this?
Well, I think it's amazing that MLB is finally recognizing that. What were your thoughts Neil, when you first heard that MLB was finally going to take that step to make June 2nd Lou Gehrig Day?
Well, it was long overdue, and it was very emotional, considering I'm living with the disease as we speak.
Sure.
We've come so far. There's so much out there when it comes to think about. In the next, God willing, year, we have all these scientists that were looking to try to help find a cure for COVID. Well, what are these scientists doing? Let's get them on ALS. Let's make a pitch. Let's find a way to find a cure for ALS. There's a lot of scientists out there. So I think they can do it. And I was amazed that Lou Gehrig Day is finally coming to fruition.
I love it. By the way, you know what? There's a thing the movie The Pride of the Yankees, of course. Everybody,
Yes.
all you guys know that movie.
Yeah.
I've found it fascinating. By the way, that's my favorite baseball movie of all time, The Pride of the Yankees, which is the Lou Gehrig story, of course. I found that a lot of people, Carmine's age and younger, have never heard of this movie. I think one of the things is we can push that movie because that movie tells the story so clearly.
It's very, very true. Before Neil leaves, I would like for him to say hello to a great Yankee and a good guy, Ron Bloomberg. Would you put Ron on so he can say hello to, Boomy, say hello to Neil.
Hey, Ron, how are you?
Hey, big guy, how you doing? It's wonderful to hear your story, and it's it's a reason why people go through hard times, and by listening to your talk and to see what you have gone through and what you're going through, it's a reason why you're doing this, because the guy up above is looking and saying this guy is strong enough to reach it up to another level so we could cure this disease. And I remember that one of my teammates, and Ray, of course, was Catfish Hunter. And Catfish was, had it. unfortunately, he just, he fell down the steps and he did not live long to tell the story like you have. But you are here for a reason. You're strong. And I mean, I love you for it. And, you are the hero of this game. We are, and Ray will tell you, we lived a fantasy. You are going through something that what all athletes, professional and amateur athletes, should really put a lot of esteem in helping ALS. Because, like you said before, it's been here a long time. It's about time they are doing something about it. And whatever we can do, I know the old timers like ourselves. I know that we could do something and help you out. And whatever you need on my behalf, I'm here for you. I know that you have a lot of people got your back, but I like to be on your back also to help you out. And anything I can do, you just let me know. And I do have a pretty good Facebook now. I have never done this before. And, Ray and Steve are the veterans at this, and watching what he has put together and bringing a beautiful guest like yourself to help people. I want to be part of it, and anything I can do, I'm here for you, and I love you.
Thank you. God bless you too.
Great words, Ron.
Yes.
Great words. So, Neil, I'm actually a psychologist, and I work with a lot of people that go through adversities and challenges with ALS or even different ailments or medical conditions. What advice would you give anybody challenged with any kind of traumatic situation or diagnosis that's hard to overcome?
Well, stay positive, of course. Constantly try to work out, do therapy, eat right. I think diet has so much to do with inflammation and things of that nature. Just all you have to do is make sure you fight every day, do the right things, and give back constantly. And you know what? It's great to have a great support system. I have a tremendous wife and children. They are spectacular people. And they, every day when I see them, it makes me want to live even longer. By the way, just on a side note, I'm going to be a grandfather. Just found that out.
All right.
Congratulations.
Great.
Gives me a lot to stay around for. So we're going to find a cure for this for the long term.
All right. Well, thank
God
Neil.
bless you, sir.
We're there for you. I will get your Bloomy's information over to you. And I know that when Sarah's doing one of her songs, she will have you in her heart.
Thank you very
Am I
much.
right, Sarah?
Sarah's backstage. But Neil, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. Ron, thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Rob. And of course, Ray, thanks so much.
We'll be in touch. Thank you, brother.
God bless everybody.
God bless.
So real fast before we hop off community, Ray, what's with these hats that you were? You
Okay,
mentioned
let's
these hats.
show these hats. This is another thing.
What's going on, Ray?
So the owner of the New York Yankees, Hank Steinbrenner, passed away. We're going on a year now, almost a year next month, actually. And he, for a long time, had the team scenario called Hank's Yanks. And unfortunately, with the fact that he's no longer here, etc., Robbie Alomar, the great Hall of Famer, along with the terrific Yankees, Gio Urshela and Gleyber Torres, have come together to be able to take those kids that were part of Hank's Yanks into the next level, so that kids who can't afford to pay for uniforms, etc. So these guys are going to pick up the slack right there and help them out. And I love the designs, So
Oh yeah, the logos are great.
Gleyber, Gio, and Robbie Alomar. Hey, I'm proud of you, and many people are very proud of what you're doing to help the children of New York and the Bronx and Connecticut. Big time Connecticut. Leo Caputo, what you've done out there to keep it going. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for everything. And that concludes this week's segment of Community, and we're going to...
Just no, we were back at the church. What's the name of the church?
Oh, in Valley Stream. We were at the Valley Stream Church this
What's
week.
the name of the church?
Valley Stream Presbyterian Church.
That's right. And we are there. We were there again on Saturday. We were there again on Saturday. And our number is about 3,700 families that have been helped in the course of during this pandemic. 3,700 just through this church alone. So thank God for the fact that people have given us the food to be able to give out. Oh
yeah. Well, you have to mention Long Island Cares. That does a great
Long
job.
Island
Cares. That's very important.
Who's the wonderful singer out of Long Island Cares?
Harry Chapin.
Harry Chapin.
No doubt, the great singer. But Long Island Cares, the Assemblywoman Solage, who's locally in that District 22, and all the members from Valley Stream Presbyterian Church.
Heather does a wonderful job.
And Heather, awesome. Everybody comes together to give back food in such a troubling time for so many for so long. So great job again on Saturday, guys.
Yeah. And they're there every week.
Okay, let's move on.
Let's carry on. So thank you for Community on this week.
Yes, well,
that's a wrap.
50 years ago, Ali fought Frazier. So we have a little clip of that. This is Frazier beat Ali at Madison Square Garden, but then Muhammad took him the next 2 times. Let's show a little clip.
Muhammad Ali may try a blitzing. Frazier is smiling as he takes those jabs. Trying to slug with Joe. Those are hard jabs and a good right cross. A whipping right hand that did Muhammad Ali no good.
Muhammad Ali
50 years
baby.
ago.
Muhammad Ali.
But that was Smoking Joe Frazier that won that fight.
Well, you know what? I don't know who won that fight. That was a tough one, boy. Yeah. Oh, and let me just say, at that fight, Mr. Frank Sinatra was there taking pictures that night for Life magazine.
That's right, the front row there. But also we have a Hall of Fame birthday. Franco Harris turned 71, legend for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he had a great catch that took the steel curtain into the Super Bowl. It was called the Immaculate Reception. Let's take a look back in time, how that went down.
Last chance for the Steelers. Bradshaw trying to get away. And his pass is broken up by Tatum. Tipped off. Franco Harris has it. And he's over.
Yeah.
Kurt, hey, the great announcer, Kurt Gowdy, announced that game only like he could. Hall of Famer.
That's right. That's right. And locally, we have some spring training news. It's not the Dodgers, Robbie. We got to go with the Bronx Bombers because Gardy hit a grand slam yesterday. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So the boys are back in town, so we'll see what happens the next couple of weeks. But that's our little roundup in sports. But we have a great show. We got Ron Bloomberg, the first designated hitter of all time. Ron, welcome back to the show.
Well, let me tell you something. With Robbie, you, and Mr. Ray, this is incredible. I love it. I mean, I'm looking at my show compared to your show. I'm not even in double there compared to your show.
Boo me.
I gotta learn how to do all this stuff. Ray, I gotta learn how to do this. This is a wonderful thing. I knew you when you were a kid, okay? And you're talking about music. I know about music. And I was going to ask Robbie, Devil with the Bluegrass. Remember Mitch Ryder?
Yes. You know who produced and wrote that song?
No.
Hold on a second. The same guy. No, it's the same guy who produced most of Frankie Valli's hits and who wrote it, Bob Crew.
Oh, okay.
He produced Sherry, Big Girls Don't Cry, Walk Like a Man, and he wrote Can't Take My Eyes Off You with Bob Gaudio. He also wrote Devil with the Blue Dress for Detroit Wheels.
Well, Robbie, let me tell you something, and Steve, so that you guys understand why I have this wonderful love for Ron Bloomberg. George Steinbrenner picked me up from the streets, okay? And they dragged me into the Yankee locker room, okay? And I'm it's just standing by this locker, scared. And the first guy to come over to me, you're talking about all the great Yankees are there. They're laughing. They thought what just happened is hilarious. And Mr. Bloomberg came over with a bag of bagels. And me being a Puerto Rican from the Bronx, I never even knew what a bagel was. I thought it was a tire. And he said, "Hey, have a bagel." You know, and that just opened it up for me. That just opened it up. Remember that, Boomy?
Yeah, I remember when you first came in. Everybody, right off the bat, everybody put all their bats and the gloves away. They thought you were to take all their stuff. It's not selling at 161st Street. They thought you were to take everything. Everything was like thrown in a pile. They said, "Who is this kid?" They said, "He's a bat boy." They said, "I'm not going to take any BP. I'm going to stay in. I'm going to put all my stuff away. Nothing's going to be back. Nothing's going to be back." I gave it back in the clubhouse. I'm never going to forget. I had those bagels there for about a week. And I said, "I know somebody that's hungry. So I gave it to you. But you know what? You look like you're hungry. And I fed you every time you came to the ballpark."
True.
I used to feed Thurman all the time. Thurman always wanted the corned beef and the roast beef and the pastrami. They used to actually go up to the Roxy Deli. You know who's behind them? Wait a second. Look at that picture. Put that picture back on again. Who's walking up here?
Nick Priori.
Yeah, you remember that.
Yeah.
All right. Nick is ready to start yelling at somebody.
Hey, they used to blame me for stealing stuff. He was stealing the stuff.
I'm not saying a word. I'm not saying a word.
Yeah, but all you have to do is put some locks on the bagel.
Oh, no, I don't. No. We didn't have any smear. I didn't like any smear. I just like the regular bagels. And we used to have, we always, the Bat Boys used to always go for us. Back then, that was a big deal when you get there early to the ballpark. You have the Bat Boys. You give them like $6 or $7, and that will give you like 2 pounds of corned beef, pastrami, brisket. Wow. You know, nowadays, they don't go out at all, of course. They go into their own restaurant at the ballpark. Yeah. And Ray will tell you, if they want an omelet, if they want a hamburger, they could get anything and everything that they wanted. You know,
wow.
They have chefs. They have chefs cooking for them now.
Yeah. But you know what? Let me tell you something. There's no way in the world that they had a better time than we did.
No.
The only thing that they do, they got beautiful cars. They got $15 million houses and whatever. We lived in $300-400 apartment buildings. I lived up in Riverdale. When I came to Riverdale, I had a beautiful place. Okay. And of course, you know, Nat Tarnopol, he got me the place. Okay. And that was a big deal. I remember he furnished the whole thing. It was like $300 and something a month. And Riverdale and the Whitehall building was incredible. I mean, it was really, really great. Okay. And then the guys used to come to the ball, you know, then I got Bobby Bonds in it. Of course, Willie Mays lived up in the penthouse. And then I got Chris to live there, and then Howland there, and Jim Ray Hart. And
Sandy Alomar.
Yeah. And nobody had as much fun as we did. Robbie, let me tell you something. We made no money. We used to come over the George Washington Bridge. Okay. I used to come over with Mel Stoudemire.
Yeah.
Well, I used to come over with Elston Howard.
Wow.
A lot of times Thurman and myself. And whenever we used to go over the George Washington Bridge, I think it was $1 or 50 cents or whatever. And every time we went over the bridge, there was always 2 people sleeping. Elston Howard was sleeping, and it was his turn to pay. Of course, he never paid because we said, "Ellie, where's your 50 cents?" You know, he sounded asleep in the back like this. You know, I mean, even Rizzuto used to do that. We used to, you know, Rizzuto, there was 2 guys that were the best. Elson Howard and Phil Rizzuto.
Wow.
They were always sleeping. They're always talking about 50 feet away from the bridge. And then all of a sudden they conked out. You know, never paid anything.
Well,
we had so much fun.
That's great. Well, let's talk about Thurman Munson, Ron, because you have a new book coming out. So
I do.
We want to talk about The Captain and Me. But before we get into the book, Ray and Ron, what are your thoughts about Thurman Munson when you first asked that question?
Leader, captain. He was a real. He was a real deal. He was a guy that, and Ray would tell you, he's a guy that came in dirty. He would leave dirty. And a lot of times, you know, Ray would tell you, I mean, if he had a bad ball game, maybe sometimes he won't take a shower. He'll throw his stuff in the locker. He'll walk in and walk out. It looked like the next day, it looked like he never left the ballpark. But he was such a leader on the team, and he never took any bull from anybody. You know, I mean, I loved him. You know, I mean, he came up in 68. I signed in 67. He signed in 68. He was he came to the team a year before me. And Ray would tell you, you know, I mean, he was tough. He was a tough guy. But if you got him one-on-one, if you need anything, Ray would tell you, he'll do anything in the world for you. You know, I mean, that's the type of guy where he was. And, you know, he was a true leader. He was a guy that if you're in the battlefield, you want him to be your George Patton. You know, I mean, you want him to lead you. Am I right, Ray?
Totally. You said it. I don't need to say anything because you said it all right there. And I can't wait to read this book. You know, and the cover is beautiful. I love the cover. Wonderful.
Let me tell you something. Wait a second. That book, okay, I never thought, you know, I mean, I barely got through English in my high school. And my English teacher would be rolling over and found out I'm an author. And I have no idea how that happened. Okay. But anyway, I started that book. How I started this, I went to Diane Munson in fantasy camp. I said, Diane, I want to write a book. And I want to write a book about your husband. Because she knew how close we were. We did everything on the field and off the field. On the basketball team, we went out to dinner. We went up to Nat Tornapole, up in Riverdale, up in Purchase, New York. We're together at all times. And there was a lot of authors that wanted to get Diana to write the foreword of the book, and she refused to do it. She said, if you write a book, I want to do the foreword of the book. A year later, down in fantasy campus, I looked at her, and I didn't even think about the book. I said, I got to write a book. And I really wrote a book. This book, I would tell you right now, I'm so proud of it, really. Not because I wrote it. It's not a baseball book. It's a book about, if anybody's have seen Bang the Drum Slowly,
right?
This is that type of book. Mm-hmm. It's a sad book. It's a happy book. It's a book. It doesn't say that Thurman got a base hit in this game. He hit off a home run this game. It said what we did on the road, what we did during the off season. People didn't realize what type of guy he was. He was a wonderful, wonderful family man. We used to go to a lot of telethons. We used to do a lot of stuff with Alan Funk, the Candid Camera. We used to do the Shriners.
You did the Jerry Lewis telethon that year.
Jerry Lewis telethon.
Yeah.
We did everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the type of guy he was.
Hey, I remember Bloomy went to the Jerry Lewis telethon with Thurman, and Jerry Lewis said, hey, Thurman, leave Bloomberg outside. He's going to kill me with them bagels.
Oh, yeah. In the green room. Yeah, they wouldn't even allow.
True story.
Yeah, they wouldn't even let me in the green room. You know, because I ate all the food before I even went out. Hey, when I was growing up, we didn't have any money for food. I was like Ray. Ray was taking all the baseball stuff. I'm taking all the food wherever I went.
Hey, Jerry Lewis screamed out, "Lady, get him out of here!"
That's very good.
Hey, speaking of which, Steve, we got to bring in Larry Chad.
Yes, but before we bring in Larry
Chad now.
The Captain and Me, On and Off the Field with Thurman Munson Bookshop.org. You got to get this book. It's coming out. It's off the hook already, Ron.
Oh, yeah, it's doing well. You know, Triumph Book Company contacted me a few days ago, and they said this is a highest pre-sale book they have had in the last 6 or 7 years, baseball book.
Hey,
And
the cover alone.
wait a second. If you don't go on Bookshop, wait a second. I'm going to give you my website you could go to real quick. It's Ron Bloomberg. It's 10 Ron Bloomberg Yankees.com. If you want a personal signed book, in about a week, the book's going to be coming out to me. And just go out and go do what you have to do on the website. I have the book. I'll send it to you signed. And it's Ron Bloomberg Yankees.com. It's 10, not 2 O's in Bloomberg. It's not Michael Bloomberg. It's Ron Bloomberg.
Well,
Remember,
Ron, stay with us. We have a friend of yours. Robbie, won't you intro our next guest?
I want to see Larry.
Okay, well, this next guy, we're talking legends. We're talking Taddy Daddy Bop Bop Shoo Bop the Bop Bop. Remember then, Larry Chance and the Earls, one of the great groups of all time, one of the great doo-wop groups of all time. Larry Chance is still rocking. Larry Chance is still rolling, and he's on our show tonight. Welcome, Larry Chance.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Yeah. Larry.
Hi, Ron.
Larry, I haven't seen you. The last time I saw you was on that cruise ship with Sheldon Stone and Debbie Nader and all those people. Remember that?
It was great. Yeah, I've still got some photographs of you
Wasn't
and
that
I on
very
that
cool?
cruise.
You look good, big guy. How you doing?
Doing great, thank God.
You look good,
Just
big
hit
guy.
the 80 mark.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Well, Larry, some of this show is to kind of share with our young viewers, great musicians like yourself. Take us on a journey when you first started back in the day.
First started stringing on the street corners in the Bronx, New York. And like many, many other groups did at that time, the Honor the Belmonts and the Regents and so forth. And it was a great time to just hang out on the benches and sing.
Did you think after all these years your music would carry on? And I'm sure you met great people like Robbie Robinson. What are your thoughts about looking back on the music that you put out there?
Well, it was wonderful. I always felt it would continue to happen. And you know, I first met Frankie Valli in 1962 at the Brooklyn Fox Theater.
Wow.
A 12-day show, anywhere from 4 to 6 shows a day. So we became good friends.
So what was Frankie like in 1962, Larry?
He was a little guy.
Yeah. He still is a little guy.
But he was always very friendly, very outgoing, and just a great guy.
Doo-wop was part of the fabric of all of you and Frankie and so much of the music that was happening back in those days. Where did that come from? From hanging out in the streets, I guess, huh?
That's it, hanging out on the corner and nothing better to do. And somebody would say, hit a note, and we'd sing for hours.
You know, one of your biggest songs you guys ever recorded was, of course, Remember Then. It's a classic. It's a standard. And with Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, we performed that song many, many times. And I think you've heard us do it before.
Yes, and you did it a cappella, and it was a great, great rendition.
Well, we have a clip of that. Could we run that?
Oh, yeah.
Please.
That's a treat.
Frankie Valli.
Oh, remember, 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 remember then, remember then, remember, shang-a-ling-a-ling-go, remember, shang-a-ling-a-ling-go, shang-a-ling-a-ling-go, shang-a-ling-a-ling-go.
That night we fell in love, beneath the stars above. That was a lovely summer night. Remember then.
Remember, 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 remember then.
Summer is over, our love is over. To lose your love is such a sin. remember then.
Remember.
Hey,
Wow.
let me just say one thing, Larry. That's the longest we ever let a song play, just in case Frankie is watching, and I don't want him to get mad that we cut him in the middle of him singing. Am I right, Robbie?
It was great.
Hey, Larry, so tell us about that song. Tell us about how that song came about, how you guys started to record it.
A guy named Tony Powers wrote something called Remember When, and we got together with a producer named Stan Vincent. We rewrote it to Remember Then, and that's how it came about.
And you were a kid, 1961, I think, right?
Yes.
You were a kid.
I'm still a kid.
Amen. I love it.
Well, and Ron Blumberg, something many times overlooked, a 300 lifetime hitter.
That's right.
Well, thank you, Larry. Thank you. You're a 300 hitter too.
Larry, let me say this. Spring training 1977. The very first game, it was a night game in Fort Lauderdale, okay? We were playing the Texas Rangers. Ron Blumberg hits a ball over the trees. I mean, way back over the trees. He actually killed a seagull. And so when he rounds the bases, he gets into the dugout. We had just signed Reggie Jackson. And Reggie went over to Blumberg. He goes, "Hey, Blumberg, did you get it all?" And Blumberg goes, "I just missed it."
I don't know how Reggie responded to that one.
Another highlight for me was, I'm a Met fan.
That's what I heard. That's why there was a big debate over letting you on the show.
It's not your fault. But when Strawberry was traded and came back to New York, his first appearance, when he walked from the plate, walked up to the plate, they played Remember Then.
Oh, how
wow.
And I happened to be at the game, so that was a thrill.
Unbelievable. Well, speaking of thrills, someone that works very hard with Robbie Robinson, and I want to bring around right now with the factor of everything that's going on here, is the beautiful Sarah Nemitz. Robbie, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on with this young lady?
Well, this young lady is one of the most talented people I've ever met in the music business. And Larry, I've had a chance to work with so many great talents through the years, but this lady is second to none. She's super talented. She's going to be a superstar. She's already a star, but she's going to be a super duper star. My friend Ray Negron. And there she is, Sarah Nimitz. Welcome.
The beautiful Sarah Nimitz.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Larry. Hi, Ron.
Hey,
Sarah.
So, Sarah, tell us about this song that I keep hearing about.
There's a brand new song. I wrote it with my friend Linda Taylor, and it's one of those quarantine collaborations, the new way now, where you don't sit in the same room with the person, but you send things back and forth, much the same way Robbie and I do. And it's just a little uplifting song for some folks stuck inside and trying to encourage people to just shine their inner light, be themselves.
So, Sarah, on a song like this, how long did it take you to do this and to collaborate? Is it more complicated when the person's not with you, or is it easier?
I've talked to different people, and it seems everyone's experience on it is different, but I actually really like the process. If the person you're working with is really comfortable with the technology, it's so easy. So it's hard to say how many hours on editing the video. I probably spent about 20 to 40 hours, somewhere in that range. And then I don't know how much time Linda and I spent. It was just a really organic process, though, just sending things back and forth and watching it all come together.
Yeah, Go ahead, Ray.
No, I was going to say, with the aspect, I mean, we got the generation of music that we have right here is so wide. I mean, Sarah, when you hear Larry Chance and the type of songs that he's done, as opposed to a Frankie Valli and Robbie Robinson, as opposed to the music that I do, just kidding. Just, I mean, how does it influence you? Does it take away from you? How does it help you?
Oh, absolutely, Larry. It's awesome to digitally meet you. I mean, your music and that whole genre is something that I grew up with and I love so much. The harmonies and just the skill involved in this kind of music is something that you just don't hear anymore. And I remember all of the drives driving around with my family, and still when we're hanging out, well, I'll be trying to grab different harmony parts, and it was really such a vital part of my music education, listening to people who do it well and who are experts at harmony and melody. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Sarah, what is next? I mean, if it wasn't for this pandemic, the name Sarah Nemitz would be even bigger right now. I mean, I know that it's giving you a chance to work inside and do your stuff and work with the great Mr. Robinson and stuff like that. But when this pandemic is over, I mean, do you become like one of this caged lion that runs out and is ready to take on the Madison Square Garden and everything else?
Oh, I'm a lion. I'm mauling zebras left and right across the savannah. No, I had some tour dates in Europe and here in the States that were canceled with COVID and everything, but I'm really excited to get back in the world playing live again and just continuing to do what has always been my goal, is just to get music out there and perform live, which I love so much.
I was just going to say, because time is going so fast, Robbie, could we hear her song right now? You're the musical director.
Roll it. It's called The Dimming, right? You have anything more to set it up, Sarah?
It's called The Dimming. I wrote it with my friend Linda Taylor. She produced it, and hopefully it'll bring a little positivity into people's day.
Well, this is something that Ronnie Bloomberg needs, so we got to play this for Ronnie.
I need that. I need it, Sarah. I need it.
He's got it.
I love looking at you. Okay.
Hey, Boomy.
I used to think I had to be a certain type of way to make the faces smile on me. The clothes I wear, the words I speak, do my makeup like a close-up on a TV screen. But there's a beat inside my chest. I drum a calling beat to do my best. I ain't gonna do my light for no one. Baby, we were meant to shine forever. I ain't gonna do my light for no one. Baby, we got all we need. I see your head is hanging low, low, low. Doing all you can to keep the spark inside your soul. Wish you could see you like I do. You're original, you're powerful, you're something new. Can't wait to see just where you go. I do believe you're gonna let them know. I ain't gonna do my light for no one. Baby, we stardust for breakfast.
Wow, awesome.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Now,
that's Major League.
That
Here
is
for
Major
some
League.
reason.
we heard it perfect.
Major League, she said.
That's
I
Major
see lips
League.
moving, but I can't hear.
Okay.
Larry, she might be muted.
Let me say something about Sarah, and you can't hear us, Sarah, but Sarah Nimitz, she's not only a great singer, great writer, and all that kind of stuff, but she has this artistic vision to do these videos, and she's extraordinary with that.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't know how she did it, but she did it, and it was beautiful.
And you know what? What else too? When our intro comes on each week, we see Robbie and we see Sarah, and we get so many great, unbelievable remarks about that opening intro. I want to thank Sarah and Robbie for putting that together, but all the collaborative efforts that you guys do.
Well, you know what? We have a thing with Sarah. By the way, Larry Chance, I had to ask you this too, by the way. I wanted to make sure to get this in. Ray, your buddy, Chaz Palminteri, had a little movie, right? Called The Bronx Tale.
Right.
Well, did you know Larry Chance had a song in The Bronx Tale?
Which one?
Well, the Back on the Streets of the Bronx.
Oh, I love that song. In the streets of the Bronx.
Yes.
In the streets of the Bronx. I use that song a lot in our promos sometimes, Larry. I cheat. Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell me.
I love it. But Larry, I gotta ask you, you did one of the greatest songs of all time, which was also done by the great Elvis Presley, which is called, I sing the song every night when I'm taking a bath, and it's called I Believe.
It's a great song.
Tell us a little bit.
Well, we one of the original members left the group and died serving our country, and we did it as a dedication to him, and we performed it in every show since the day he passed.
Wow.
Well, you guys did a beautiful job with that song. I have to ask you, what did you think of Elvis's rendition of it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved Elvis.
Hey, tell us about Elvis, Larry. Did you work with him back in the day ever?
I never got to work with him, but I admired him.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. What a voice.
Who's got a better rendition of that song? Ray's version that he sings in the tub, or Elvis?
Now, I've been in a lot of car rides with Ray from Long Island to the Bronx, and he sings that song in the car. I don't think it's Ray.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
That's all right.
Thanks, Steve. No, hold on one second. I want to show a little bit of that. Let's show a little bit of that. Oh man! Hey,
wow.
My producer here is going to get fired tonight. How do you cut that song? How do you cut that, Larry?
Let me ask you something.
Wow.
Doesn't music really just light up your world? I mean, what Sarah did, and that beautiful song, and just listening to it. And I mean, then Larry comes on, and I mean, it picks everything up. I mean,
right.
Life should be happy. I mean, y'all should just be out in the streets singing instead of fighting and killing each other.
Yeah,
People be smiling again.
Yeah, preach it, Ron.
That's all you need.
I love it.
Have somebody just walking down the street singing.
Listen, bottom line is we got to close the show right here. They're going to cut us out. I love you guys. We need
Very
2
well
hours.
done.
We need 2 hours to do this show right.
But you know what? Let me say something, Ray Negron.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, there is a great, what's the best baseball song of all time?
Take me out to the ball game.
Take me out to the ball game.
We're going to close with that.
Sarah and I did a version, and we're
Yes.
going to give an opportunity for MLB, any team in the Major League Baseball or MLB itself, to use this team, use that song this coming year, 2021, as we head towards the Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series.
We have to.
And maybe the Cubs, Sarah. Maybe the Cubs.
No Cubs,
yes.
my fundillo. Let's go. Hey, see you guys next week. Boomy, thank you, Sarah.
Love
Larry.
you.
Yeah.
Love you.
Robbie Robinson, Stevie. Love
I
you
love
guys.
you,
Yes,
Sarah.
love you
Love you,
guys.
Ray. Robbie.
Look
Love
alive.
you. Steve. Love you, big guys.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for my home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.